People who judge are always going to judge. And here's the deal, for our own sanity and our sense of peace of mind and happiness, other people's judgment is irrelevant compared to how you judge yourself. Namaste and welcome to your lecture of the week. Our teaching is don't worry, do your best, and be happy. If there was one point I really wanted to make in the teaching this week, it is that your best is always good enough, and to not compare your best to other people's best. So you see, your best is always going to fluctuate depending on how you are that specific day, how much sleep you got, what your nutrition was, the amount of stress in your life. There's so many variables that come into play that all affect what we call your optimal potential. Based on your optimal potential, like the caliber of what your best is each and every day, that we just strive to meet that. And guess what? My best today might be a little better than yesterday because yesterday wasn't. So my best is obviously better today than yesterday, but to not get caught up in every day needing to be better than the previous, so that our growth is actually authentic and we strive to just meet and deliver our best each and every day. I have a story for you that really highlights this because, you know, I'm sure you've heard this before, that everyone is just doing the best they can, right? Well, this statement really rang true for me a few months ago. It was a rainy day here in California, and you know, when things are rainy here in California, people act weird, but it was raining and my plan was just to hunker down with my son in the house, and it was getting to be around lunchtime and I realized that he was out of sweet potato puree, and at this point in my son's journey of life, that was the only thing that he would eat other than nursing. And I thought, oh crap, I gotta get to Whole Foods. So I'm basically in my pajamas at this point, I'll be honest. In my defense, I probably was still in my pajamas because I had every intention of doing a yoga practice or a little workout or something during his afternoon nap, but I hadn't quite gotten there yet. So still in my pajamas, pretty much a hot mess. He was in his pajamas because if I'm not gonna leave the house, why would I ever change a kid? Pajamas are just cozy. We're definitely maybe not looking our best in that moment, but who cares, right? So I throw him in the car. He doesn't like jackets at that point either, so I just wrapped him up with a blanket to get from the house to the car. And anyway, he takes his socks off and we get to Whole Foods and I throw him in the stroller. At this point, he won't put the socks on. I'm just like, whatever. I get him in Whole Foods. I get a full cart full of sweet potatoes, something for me for lunch, and we get up to the checkout counter and the line is so long and I can just tell that my son only has a few more minutes in his stroller before total meltdown. So I go to the self-checkout and now he's standing up in his stroller with no socks, in his pajamas, no jacket. I'm in my pajamas, hot mess. I'm basically holding him, stabilizing him in the stroller with one hand and chucking sweet potato through into the bag, and it's a sight to be seen. And so I catch out of the corner of my eye people starting to look at me, and maybe I'm making it up, but I'm a pretty good judge of character and energy, and I could feel the judgment. Strap your baby in the stroller. Why are you trying to go through self-checkout? I could feel the energy starting to come my way. And here's really where the teaching lands for me. In that moment, I could have gone in so many different directions, right? I could get down on myself for being a first-time mom. Can I just not pull my shit together more than I am right now in my life? Could I just get ready? Couldn't I do better, right? All these things like, oh, well, maybe X, Y, and Z. People are gonna judge you no matter what. People are gonna look at you, and even if Constantine and I were perfectly put together, there's always some judgment. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. People are gonna judge you whether you do it or you don't. People who judge are always going to judge. And here's the deal, for our own sanity and our sense of peace of mind and happiness. Other people's judgment is irrelevant compared to how you judge yourself. So in that moment where it looked like, wow, maybe I could do a little better as a mother with my son in public, I looked at them and that teaching just popped into my head and I just thought, this is the best I got today. And I just smiled and I was at peace because it was more important that I acknowledged this is the best I've got today. And that I made peace and acceptance with that so that I could just be happy, right? Versus internalizing everyone else's judgment. So your best is always good enough. And instead of what other people think about you and your best, and how they evaluate and judge that, please, please, please make peace with your best. Accept it. And you strive for your own best and for your optimal potential of that day. Please, I encourage you to take this teaching to heart and to apply it to your life. May we all stop judging ourselves against other people and what their best may be. May we stop judging ourselves and start to make peace with our best that day, given all the circumstances and all the variables. Do your best. This little phrase that I like to just remember, don't worry, do your best, and then make peace with it and be happy. I truly hope that this was helpful to you, your life, and your ultimate well-being. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please don't hesitate to drop them below. With all my love, big hugs, and namaste.